flag presentation in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Northeast Neighborhood Alliance General Meeting. We've got quite a meeting tonight. In addition to the wonderful candidates we'll be hearing from, we'll also have some great presentations, including one of them, which I think you'll find most interesting, by our Spurs. And they have some good giveaways for you up there. So before you leave tonight, make sure you stop by. All right. With that, Councilman Perry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time hearing you back here. Can we jack it up here? I don't know. I don't want to do it because I'll mess it up.
Well, change your batteries, sir.
That's what I was thinking.
Testing, testing, testing. Any better?
That's better.
Testing, very good. Okay, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome Girl Scout Troop 3129 with our flag presentation. Everyone, please stand.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, halt. Color guard, cross the colors. Color guard, post the colors. Color guard, honor your flag. Please join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us now in saying the Texas Pledge.
Honor the Texas flag.
I
pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Color guard, reform. Color guard, retreat. Color guard, halt. Color guard, dismissed.
Let's give them a hand. Well, thank you very much, ladies. I really appreciate your job tonight and your presentation. Very, very good. What we're going to do tonight, this will be very interesting. In the first part of the meeting, we wanted to have a candidates forum, but it would appear that some of the people who were going to be in the forum have not shown up. So what I would like to do then is to offer the people that have shown up the opportunity to say a few words. And we have our timekeeper, Coletta, with you. And for those of you who've been here in the past, you know Coletta's very good at monitoring her clock. Well, this is good. So we have both candidates for Bexar County Judge on the Democratic ticket here tonight. We also have the Republican candidate too, and Mr. Berry will be introduced later. So let's begin then. What we'll do is ask each candidate to come forward, and we have 2 questions for you, and you get 2 minutes per question. The first question is, please tell this room how it is you're qualified for this position. Talk about your experience, your background, your education, and so forth. And then secondly, we want to know what your goals are. What do you intend to achieve in this position? So we'll begin with Judge Peter Sakai. Judge, let's give him a hand, everybody.
Thank you, President Gallagher. As you know, in the military, there's no excuse for being late.
Yes.
And so there is no excuse, but I will tell you, today's tax day. I had an unexpected meeting to get my taxes filed, so that's why I run a little bit late. Thank you for the opportunity to come speak to you, Northwest Alliance. I think most of y'all know me as your district court judge down at the Bexar County Courthouse. And I believe what separates me from my opponents for the county judge, and I am running for county judge to be your county judge, is this. I have dedicated my life and my service as a servant leader. What's a servant leader? A servant leader is somebody that puts community first.
Speak closer to the mic if you don't mind.
That puts community first and doesn't run for political office to basically move up political ladder. So as your district court judge, I've been there at the courthouse for nearly 26 years, creating programs such as Family Drug Court, early childhood court, and the college-bound docket for foster kids. I have been a leader that wants to find solutions for the problems. And I think that's what separates me. As a judge, I have the ability to listen, to give dignity and respect to all those that come before me, even to those that disagree. And I am then in a position to find solutions. That's what I've done. And what I want to come before you is to recognize how valuable all of you are as a Northeast Alliance, because you're present, you're here, you're committed to community, neighborhoods, and your country. And I'm committing to you to always promise to listen, to find solutions, to have you at the table, and to work on those complex issues that come before the county.
Okay, Judge, now your goals.
Obviously, the elephant in the room, as we all know, today I'm paying my taxes, right? And the stress and anxiety that comes with that. And what we've seen just recently is the appraisals, right? And the stress and anxiety. So that's the elephant in the room, no pun intended. And what is going to happen is we're going to recognize that that basically is a legislative issue that the state legislature must fix. Yes, perhaps they're promising tax cuts, but that's a simple solution that's not going to alleviate the stress and anxiety. It's about meaningful tax cuts that I commit to. It's about revamping the appraisal system, which is a state function. And this is where I probably separate myself from the other candidates. I'm willing to agree with people that I may not be philosophically in line with. Governor Abbott has, in his Taxpayer Bill of Rights, suggested that the state commit more state money in order to lower the property tax burden on the school districts. I agree with that. He has suggested that we give a 3% tax break for those that pay on time. I agree with it because I'm paying my taxes tonight, and that's why I'm still stressed out. And finally, we need an open and transparent process in the appraisal. We can't have the tax burdens on the homeowners, especially the seniors. And so my commitment to you is to work together to find solutions. I'm willing to work with people that I may not philosophically always agree with. But I have been dedicated to children and families, and I will promise to you that all the issues in regards to economic development, infrastructure, education, are always going to be child-centric and family-focused. That's the reason why I will move away from perhaps a legacy program and commit to those issues that are most important. That's our children, families, and seniors. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight.
Let's give him a hand. Okay, now we have the honor of hearing from somebody else who's running for Bexar County Judge, and that is State Rep. Ina Menanes.
Good evening. Thank you all for having us this evening. It was very important that I wanted to take this opportunity to visit with each and every one of you. My name is Ina Minhades, and I am a state representative representing House District 124, which is in the SeaWorld west part of San Antonio, and I've done so after winning a special election in April of 2015. Let's talk about the differences between me and my opponent. I respect Judge Peter Sakai, but his experience is very narrow. Mine has been at the state legislature. I have been on committees. I have dealt with issues that have come before the state, that are going to come before Commissioner's Court. I have served on Transportation Committee. I have had the responsibility of being on appropriations, bringing back your taxpayer dollars back to Bexar County and back to the city of San Antonio to fund our higher ed institutions. I brought over $1 billion back to our community, making sure our courts are fully funded, making sure our library services are funded. So I have that key experience. I have the array of experience that's going to be necessary. I graduated from the University of Notre Dame. I graduated from St. Mary's Law School. I have been an attorney since the year 2000. I served as a prosecutor under Susan Reed, went into my private practice, represented children in the foster care system, also represented people who were hurt on the job. So I have an array of experience here, life experience. I'm no career politician. I decided to run to become a state representative to represent my community. And now this opportunity has come to continue the service, the public service, to represent all of you all. I succeeded in a Republican-dominated legislature because I know how to work across the aisle and work well on those issues that matter to us collectively.
Okay, now let's talk about goals.
Well, as you all know, you all opened your mailboxes and got that appraisal. In my years as a state representative, I have been committed to finding meaningful property tax reform measures. Meaningful, not Band-Aids here and there. In fact, this last legislative session, I worked with my colleagues across the aisle to sponsor 2 constitutional amendments that are going to come before you, and this is important for you all. The May 7th election is going to have these 2 constitutional amendments. One is to provide a tax compression relief for those 65 and disabled. And the second constitutional amendment is to increase the homestead exemption from $20,000 to $40,000 for all homeowners in Bexar County. That's going to bring over $60 million in property tax relief, about $175 of relief per homeowner. However, you all need to vote on these amendments or they will not come to pass. So I have actually started working on this way before. I don't just talk the talk, I'm about the action. So I hope to continue that meaningful reform. I want to work on Commissioner's Court. I want to be that leader to ensure we bring the relief necessary for our seniors, to bring relief to our working families, where everyone's getting priced out of their home. And you shouldn't be penalized because you're bringing value and improving value to your properties. You all are hardworking, you bring a lot to the table. Why is it that you're penalized each and every time you get that appraisal form? So I have already those existing relationships with members of the legislature, also with the governor's office, with the lieutenant governor, to continue working on this issue. I'm committed to bringing you meaningful property tax relief. That is number 1 on my platform.
Okay, this next part's going to be a little tough, and I'm going to put some pressure now on candidates that we have that they're not necessarily in the runoff, but they're going to be in the November election. And for those of them that are here tonight, if you please step forward, please come over right here, right now. Step forward. What I'd like you to do is to state your name and say what you're running for. And the reason I'm asking you to do this is so that everybody in the room can see you and they can come up and talk to you after the meeting is over with. So come on up, everybody that's running for office. Step right up. Come on.
Go ahead.
Can I take this off?
We'll find out. Don't break it.
Here we go. Sorry, I'm not a stand behind the podium kind of gal, as you all know, because I've been before you before. Obviously, a lot of energy and passion. Born and raised here in San Antonio, I'm the daughter of a career Air Force veteran. I'm going to take a little bit of my time because it's important, all right? Raise your hand or stand up if you are a veteran of the Army, Air Force, what have you.
It's the whole room.
Salute. Thank you for your service. Yes. I know as a veteran too, but it is the reason why I'm here in San Antonio, because I'm the youngest of 6 children. My parents found out they were pregnant with me and we spotted Germany, and my mom was like, okay, time to retire. Like, I'm tired of moving kids across the country every 2 or 3 years. So we retired here. I'm the only one of the 6 that grew up in one place. So let me just say, I am so pleased to be back here before you all. You are very supportive when I ran for County Commissioner in Precinct 3. Now I am a candidate for Bexar County Judge. And let me just tell you all, I've committed to all of the promises that I made when I was a county commissioner, lowering the property tax rate for the first time in 25 years. Salute, yes, all right, amen to that. But we got to build upon that incrementally. I've had some opponents that have talked about that, but right, true appraisal reform begins in the legislature, but I also led the effort as a county commissioner for a homestead exemption up to $25,000 that never existed at the county. So I'll continue to fight for that as Bexar County Judge, and that will be a priority.
30 seconds.
But the most important thing is, you all know, I have a 96-year-old career Air Force veteran father who gets scammed every single day. When I found out there was a backlog of cases, 1,300 of them, in the DA's office that they hadn't prosecuted, I restored an elder fraud unit in the DA's office because it is the right thing to do, regardless of partisan effort. Because why? The elderly do not have the time to wait on prosecution nor restitution. Vote Trish DeBerry for Bexar County Judge. Happy to be here tonight.
You've got 30 seconds.
Hard to follow that. My name is Susan Corbel, and I'm running for County Commissioner Precinct 3, Trish's former job. And I'm really excited to be on the campaign trail. I'm a 30-year owner of a small business. I do market research. I've done it for a number of organizations, corporations, nonprofits in this city. I've always kept a low profile because, honestly, I kept my nose to the grindstone. My son is now moved back here. He's an attorney. My daughter is up in the East Coast. We don't know what to do about that. But she is also very, I'm done?
Just about. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'd love to tell you more about my kids, but basically, we'll be talking in the future about my business and how I can help you in Precinct 3. Thank you very much.
Next. Steve, you gotta be in front of the podium.
Okay. So because of the camera, has to see.
30 seconds.
I'm Steve Allison. I have the privilege and honor to serve as your state representative for this District 121, and I'm up for re-election in November. I have the privilege of serving on public education, public health, and the Speaker appointed me to the Select Committee on Youth, Health, and Safety. We're in the midst of going through the interim charges, so we're going to be busy with committee hearings during the interim, and those are going to be important areas. Education is going to take the air out of the House again this next session. I've got the experience and background there. I served on the school board for 12 years here. Feel passionate about our children, about education, and about health care. And of course, property taxes. You've heard me speak before. I've filed bills on property tax reform and meaningful reform, but we weren't successful in getting it here. We're going to get it here in this next session because we're entitled to meaningful property tax reform and not just shifting taxes. That doesn't do us any good. We need some meaningful reform. That means reductions that have to be some cost savings. So thank you again. I'll be talking to you during the summer and the fall.
Very good.
Go ahead. Yes, that means talk fast.
Yes, I know. Good evening. My name is Christine Castillo, and I'm running for Bexar County District Clerk. I bring 33 years of hands-on experience with the office, and my entire platform consists of community outreach. I want to have documents accessible online,
And I also want to collaborate with the 4 precincts in Bexar County to have satellite offices for your convenience. This way, if you have business with them, you can just go down the street and conduct your business instead of having to drive downtown and pay for parking and, you know, wait in line. So that's my plan, to just do more community outreach for our community, for you. So please, I ask for your support and your vote. Thank you.
Very good.
Good evening, my name is John Austin, I'm your Republican Party chairman. I'm in the runoff for re-election, so I appreciate y'all's vote last year to get me, 2 years ago to get me elected, and I ask for your support again. We've done a great job of rebuilding the party. I think everybody knows where it was when I first started 2 years ago from the previous administration. No need to go backwards with my challenger. We're building on our success that we've had over the past 2 years, so I ask you all for at least 2 more years to keep our good works going. Thank you so much. John Austin.
Do we have any other candidates in the room? What are you running for, Councilman? No, okay. Anybody else? Okay, come on forward. Here you go. Yeah, be behind us so that they can get on camera.
Hi, my name is Marcia Landry, and I am running for Northeast Independent School District School Board Trustee, place 7. It's one of the lesser-known elections coming up on May 7th. Early voting starts on April 24th. I am a mom and a grandma, and I've been here for all of my life. I won't say how long. And I am running to bring parents' voice back to the schools and back to the school board. I want Marcia Landry, Northeast Independent School District. Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted you to make sure and see everybody, because after the meeting's over with, we want to make sure that you have a chance to talk to these candidates, get to know them real well, and ask those embarrassing questions you didn't want to ask in front of everybody. All right, well, now we get to hear from Shamika Hudson about what have the Spurs been doing lately. Come on up.
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you so much that I am not here tonight to run for anything. You all would never ever want to see me on any political circuit, so much respect to everyone here who is running though. Thank you guys so much for having us tonight. I know it's been a couple of years since we've been around, but there's been a lot going on in the world. So for us San Antonio Spurs, Shamika Hudson and my coworker Jose here, in the past we've been pretty engaged with you guys, so thank y'all for every national night out you've invited us to, every fiesta event, every holiday party, and the times that you all have let us come here. So tonight we're here to just give you guys an update, bring some prizes, and please take home anything on the table that we bring. Our soccer team, San Antonio FC, plays here in your district at Toyota Field, so we want to make sure that you all feel like this is your team. So tonight, Jose will just give us a quick update. Please ask us any questions, and then we'll let you guys get on with the rest of your meeting.
Thank you, Shamika. Thank you again for your time. Like Shamika said, we're...
Into the microphone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, what is your full name?
Jose Lizardo.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for having us. Like Shamika said, you know, we call District 10 home. We're very proud of that. We're now starting our 7th year. As you guys may recall, back in 2015, Spurs purchased the team from a guy you may know, Gordon Hartman. And now, as I said, we started our 7th season. We just concluded our most successful season on the field. We were 1 game away from the final. And this year we're in week 5. We're the 2nd best team in the league. The fans are coming back, which is great. You know, we're averaging over 6,000 people a game right now. The other great part of what we're doing over there, obviously with the Star Soccer Complex, all the teams, the youth teams, the adult teams are all back. And you know, I'm proud to say that we're serving thousands of kids every day, every week, from the ages of 4 all the way to about 50 years old, of people playing out there from not just soccer, frisbee, flag football, lacrosse, you name it. We're trying to bring different and cool events out here in District 10. So that's one of the things that we're working on now, is bringing other events to the area. Working with obviously our neighbors at Morgan's Wonderland. But yeah, no, we're excited what's to come, and we appreciate all the support that you guys have given us. Please come out and visit. I think you guys will be proud of everything that's happening out there. And hopefully we continue to grow. And like I said, bring more things to San Antonio that will help the district and San Antonio grow in the near future.
Yes, sir.
With all the publicity of pickleball, do you see anything in the future that might bring that to District 10?
So, interesting. Yes, so our neighbors, Morgan's, they built a pickleball. They have, I think, 5 or 6 pickleball courts. It's funny you say that. I believe our next season ticket member event for the team is going to be a pickleball tournament where our players will play with our season ticket members. But yeah, so I keep an eye out. But definitely, they did if you just drive around here, you'll see the court. Really, they did a great job.
Any other questions?
Shamika, you got to talk about what you're going to be giving away tonight.
Oh, sure. So we're doing door prizes. We've got a couple of Coyote bobbleheads and a bunch of SAFC gear, caps, jerseys, T-shirts, and then just whatever you all want to take from the table. We have koozies and stickers, so please feel free to take any. And then for everyone who is here tonight, you all will get 2 free tickets for an upcoming SAFC game, and you can just email the District 10 at sanantonio.gov, and we'll send you the link so that you can pick your game. Thank you guys so much.
I sure hope everybody's got your tickets, because you're going to need them. You did? Okay. We'll make sure if you don't have it, that we'll get some out to you. Okay. Next, we have a presentation on NEISD, some updates from our superintendent, Dr. Sean Hyman. Welcome aboard. Let's
To the gentleman that asked about pickleball, just so you know, Morgan's Wonderland does have pickleball, in fact, it's 20 courts. And I believe for you as a community member, I believe it's Wednesday nights, you can go and play for, I think it's $5. So it's something that we use. So I hope this is all going to work. So I think I'm on a timer. I'm not used to that, but we're going to give it a shot. So first, thank you for inviting me and let me have a few minutes of your time this evening to speak about you. You know, as I became superintendent, I was named in 2019 as interim superintendent. I've really been doing a lot of historical looks. Gosh, everybody's taller than I am. Taking a look around the district and really how it has changed. And so tonight what I want to do is spend a little bit of time talking to you about what Northeast ISD looks like now as opposed to maybe what it was in the past. Good, I hit the right button. So as you can see here, this is just a map. As I go around the district, a lot of people are not sure the actual boundaries of our school district. So you can see we dipped far south down into Walsham and up to the Comal County line up in north of 1604. So we're about 140 square miles. We have about 70 schools in there, and if you want, on the QR code at the bottom, if you have a phone, you can take a screenshot and you can take a look more specifically at those in your area. So one of the things, for those of you that have maybe lived in the Northeast School District a while, we really experienced a great deal of growth throughout this district. And as you can see, there's a real sharp decline, and that happened in 2007. These were really about new home starts, and we were really growing very rapidly. And then in 2007, we really dropped down, and we pretty much, for the most part, stayed level. Why is that? And I get asked that question periodically. We're built out. There's not as much land anymore now that used to be back in the late 90s and even early 2000s. Another way to take a look at that is through census data. So as you can see here in 1990 to 2000, as the school district, we grew about 20%. From 2000 to 2010, we experienced another population growth of almost 20%. But in this last one, from 10 to 2020, we saw just a little over 8% growth. So as you can see, we're really starting to slow down. So when we take a look at property taxes, which I hear we're going to talk about it too just a little bit, because that is on everyone's mind. I'm a taxpayer too. I opened that bill. I wanted to just for you to focus a little bit on where the Northeast Independent School District is really taxing, and it's primarily single-family homes. Now, here's the interesting thing about this data. As we dug into it, what we have seen an increase, these numbers have pretty much stayed the same or unchanged all of these years. But what's changed are the number of single-family homes in the school district without school-aged children. And that's now 72%, and then give or take a little bit north of that. We've seen that grow since 2010 from 65%. So, you opened your property tax bill too, just like I did. So I want to talk a little bit about that bill, and really because I know, just as a taxpayer like you, I open it and the largest portion says NEISD on it. Well, one, I want you to know we don't get that money. That goes to the state. They never write us a check. But let's talk about what's actually in that tax rate. There are two parts. It's M&O and INS. So that's maintenance and operation and interest and sinking. The maintenance and operation is just that. It's really about how we run the school district, the day-to-day things. The interest and sinking is the bond debt that we have to pay. I want you to know since 2015, the Northeast Independent School District has lowered the property tax rate almost 19 cents. But I will bet, unless you have frozen tax values, you've absolutely not seen any sort of relief whatsoever. That's because Bear Appraisal District has been elevating the appraised value in homes. I just read in the paper the other day that the average Bear County home went up 23% this year. That's amazing, right? So again, I want you to know we don't set your value. Bear Appraisal does. I also want you to remember back in the last legislative session that there was a bill passed that as a school district, and this is very complex, I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can. The state legislature, even though we saw property values increase exponentially, what the state says for taxing for a school district on the aggregate, so all 140 square miles, we can raise taxes 2.5% at the max. However, I want you to know we will never see that 2.5% increase. That is going to go to the state. The state has a bucket of money that says the Northeast Independent School District gets, and that's what we get. So as values rise, you're shouldering, as a taxpayer, more of that tax burden. The state's portion decreases. One of the things that I have gone around listening to, and I've heard people say, well, why doesn't the school district lower taxes in conjunction with increased values? So we took a look at it. Could we do it? So every penny that we lower your tax rate, the district would be short $6.6 million. That money would not be matched, by the way, from the state. So we would lose $6.6 million. So that's on the M&O side. So if we lower 1 cent on maintenance and operation, we can save the taxpayer about $6.6 million per penny. So the question then becomes, well, how would we do that? Well, we would have to take a look at things that we don't legally are required to do. So let's talk transportation. I'll just stop transporting students to school because legally I do not have to provide busing to students. Well, we could do that. But I think that's not probably a good idea. Because if we can't get students to school, how are they going to get there? Parents in most families now are both working. They don't have the chance to take them there. The other thing, if I don't bus them to school, is the other way that we get funds as a school district is through what's called ADA, Average Daily Attendance. That's if the child walks into school, check, they're there, and we get dollar amount. So now if I lose that $6.6 million from taxes, and I'll also lose it through attendance. The other side we could take a look at is INS. We could lower the interest in sinking. We could take that off, and as a school district, we've been doing that over the years. So let's talk about why that may not be a good idea either. And I brought my chief financial officer somewhere. I think it's since 2010, right?
Yes, sir.
In 2010, since 2010 to today, by using that interest in sinking tax the right way, we have saved the taxpayer, you, $180 million over that time. How did we do it? We bought down debt early. Just like when you take a 30-year mortgage and someday you decide, I'm going to reduce that to a 15-year, that's exactly what we've done, to the tune of $180 million for our taxpayers just like you. But I know that everybody's feeling the strain. We heard it tonight from the candidates. Again, when I opened my bill, I was shocked at the value that it went up. So let's take a look at that a different way. This is the school district broken into 7 distinct communities. That is the 7 different high schools that we have across the school district. In District 10, you all have part of Johnson, you have MacArthur, and you have Madison High School. So if you take a look up there, you're going to see, now this was done from 2011 to 2019. So it is not including data from this year. But as you can take a look here, you can see that really where the growth has been, even before this last bill, was really in our legacy zone, which is right there near North Star Mall off of 410. That's where it is, 87% over that time period. In the Roosevelt cluster down by Walsham, that has over almost 76% during that time. So you can see as the candidates talked about this tonight, this really is. Back then, I'm still good, I think. Okay. I wasn't sure if that was my timer. The average home in Northeast was $287,000. That's really expensive for a brand new family trying to start up and get going. So I want to take a look also at student demographics, because as a district, we are evolving. So in 1995, you can see up there that we were 32% Hispanic, 57% white, and so forth. But look, since 95 to today in 2021, we're now almost 61% Hispanic in the school district. The Hispanic and white numbers have flipped from those time periods. We are truly changing as a school district. Now, I want you to know that the school board has been working very hard beginning in January on creating a district scorecard. And what that is really setting forth our next 5 to 10 years of work. So as you can see up here, this is a draft. And it is in draft form. They listed 4 priorities there: student, staff, stakeholders, and stewardship. And out beside are some objectives that are written. It's really important that we hear from you. Again, I'm going to take you back to 72% of our single-family homes do not have school-age children in their house. So it's important that we hear from you when we're looking at this, because you're a valuable member of our community. And we need to know what it is that you believe should be a priority in school. So with that, I want you to know that there is a QR code up here, but if you don't do that, Ms. Deb Caldwell, our Executive Director for External Relations, is sitting over there to the side. She has paper copies. Please take a few minutes and fill it out. It takes from 5 to 10 minutes to complete the survey. But it's super important that we hear from as many people in the school district about what it is that they believe our focus should be over the next 5 to 10 years. And I want to leave you with this. First off, I appreciate and want you to know that how honored and blessed I am that you choose Northeast ISD for your home. I know that many of you, I was talking to a few former educators in the audience, thinking about how didn't I know about this that's going on. Let me tell you some ways if you so feel inclined to get engaged with us. First, you can volunteer in our schools. I'm sure that you've heard the news. The staffing crisis, the great resignation is real, and it is impacting schools. We love volunteers to come in. Please reach out to the campus principal near you. Give them a call and say, I'd like, what's available to me? You can call that number as well. But we have a variety of ways for you to engage. You know, have you ever thought about maybe learning to play the guitar? Or learning about genealogy? We have an adult and community ed department that is giant over there off Tesoro Drive and has room to expand. Feel free to reach out and contact them about it. If you own a business, please reach out to us. We are always looking for internships for our students to get engaged. We have students in all sorts of different career paths, mechanics, diesel mechanics, dental technician, and so forth. Please reach out. And the last I'm going to say, the other opportunity is our PTA clothes closet. Again, we have a lot of students in our district that don't come from means and really need our support. And the clothes closet is located right next to our adult community ed center. And you can volunteer as little as an hour or as much as a day to go in there and sort clothes and get things ready for kids, because our family specialists go over there and give out clothes to the students from families that cannot afford it. If you want to just donate, you do not want to volunteer, always know that socks and underwear are always in need. Always in need. We give out thousands and thousands of pair every year, I should say, the PTA does. So with that, I'm going to end just simply saying thank you for your time. I appreciate you letting me come. Thank you for choosing Northeast, and if I can answer questions at the end, I'll be happy to do that.
Okay, let's
All
see.
right.
I know we have some questions in the room. Go ahead.
Really fast.
So, my question has nothing to do with taxes, but are you aware of the traffic problem at Northern Hills Elementary on Venus?
Yes, I am aware of the problem over at Northern Hills, and I want you to know our chief of police has already been out there with our safety department and are looking at ways to problem solve a solution over there. So I would stay tuned. We're working on it. All right? Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, Coletta.
You showed a graph regarding the decline in new housing starts. While new housing starts may be declining, multifamily are growing all over the place. I mean, I can go within a mile of my house and I can find at least half a dozen or more that are either up for tentative zoning change, have just been built, or are in the process of being built.
Yes, ma'am. That we have seen that as well across the district. So as land values have increased, what we've seen is a rise in multifamily complexes. I will tell you that we don't get very many students from those multifamily complexes. A lot of people think we're going to get families, and we do not. Yes, ma'am. That's a misperception that a lot of people believe when a 500-unit apartment complex comes up, that we're going to get this huge influx in students, and we don't. We do not.
Okay, any other questions for the superintendent?
From the Aggie, right here. My daughter's going there this fall. She's an Aggie.
Good deal. My question has to do with some people got voter registration cards that do not have the correct trustee district on them, and my understanding, the reason why that happened was because there was a delay at the district in redrawing the district boundaries. So what does somebody do when they don't have the correct trustee number on their card?
Yeah, that is a fantastic question. So we actually reached out to the Express News today to have them run a story about that, and we are trying to get this out. So I don't know that there was really a delay on our part. It was just when things were printed, and Deb, I think you can probably elaborate on this much better. I know Deb has been involved with it. What I can tell you is this, but the question is, there was, this gentleman in the front has heard that there was some misinformation about the district trustee election, so the wrong trustee number is put on their voter registration card. And what he stated is that it was a delay on our part for redistricting. And so what can you do as a voter or as a taxpayer to rectify it? One is that just know on our website we have the correct district up there. Two, you can make a phone call out to verify before you go to the polls that you are in District 7. All right? Because it's District 7, 2, and 3 that is up right now. So Deb, the delay was not on our part, correct?
We had a census delay as a country, and our school board got it done as quickly as possible. It just is a matter of timing. The Bexar County Elections Department, from guidance from the Secretary of State's Department, sends out those cards November and December of odd numbered years. There is also a paper shortage, so those cards got out to mail boxes late. But our election just happens to be May of even numbered years all the time, and so there's always a delay in that information.
Right. And once Ms. Caldwell found out about that, she has really been chasing that down, trying to get it rectified. But they have said they will not reprint the cards.
Okay, one last question here. Go ahead.
Bexar County was the last county in the state of Texas to get voter registration cards printed. So there was more time than any other county to get that done. And I can say when I was working at one polling place, there was a discrepancy between what the computer said a person's residence was and what their new blue card said their residence was. And you really need to work with the elections administrator not to express views.
We've been trying.
We've been trying. We have reached out to Jackie. We have been in constant communication with her about this exact issue.
Well, she's accountable to the county judge on that.
Yes, sir. We have been talking with her. Since we were made aware of it, we have been talking with her.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, one last one way back there. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mike. I asked Mike earlier if I can bring a map because of the census and a few changes and adjustments in the single member districts, you may not realize it, but you might have a school board member election on your ballot for May 7th election. So there's a map over here that shows the current new districts for single member districts. It's also on the NEISD website. You can look up your address and find that out. And Jackie Callahan has assured me that we will have the correct ballot when you go in. So even if your card is not correct, you go in to vote, you show your ID, you will be given the correct ballot. So it's important. It's a nonpartisan election, but it's very important to study your candidates, know what you're going to be voting on before you go in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give him a hand, everybody. Yeah, go ahead and take a look at that map after the meeting, and I think you might be surprised, some of you. Okay, finally, we get to hear from City Councilman Clayton Perry. All right. Welcome.
All right, howdy everybody. All right, that's better, that's better. No, it's great to see everybody in the audience today. We had words from our candidates coming up, which is fantastic. But I wanted to give you some updates from the city perspective here, okay? We got redistricting going on. Has anybody heard about that? All right, we've got some meetings coming up here very shortly. One is at the Tool Yard right here, and the other is at the Northeast Senior Center on Thousand Oaks. So if you want to learn more about redistricting, go to that meeting, and if you have comments, make sure that you make those comments. Pretty much, I don't think we're going to be affected too much here in District 10, although there's a move to try to take MacArthur Park and everything around MacArthur High School away from District 10. I'm going to flip out if that moves any further, because that is in the heart of District 10, and we don't want to lose that area for our district, because it's right next to the airport. We work very, very hard on their roads, sidewalks, and all that in that district. So I'm a little bit bothered by that. But anyway, if you have comments or anything, please go to those. Do we have the dates on those? Is that in my notes here? Yeah. April 23rd, 10 o'clock in the morning here at the Tool Yard. And then on the 2nd of May at 6 in the evening, that's at the Northeast Senior Center. So try to make it to that if you're interested about where you may or may not be living in the future as far as district lines go. Election and runoffs, we've already heard from our folks here, but one thing that I do want to foot stomp on is about this those two amendments to our Constitution about the property taxes. That will affect every homeowner, and you need to be very attuned to that on what's in those two constitutional amendments, because I think it's a good thing, but you look at it and you make up your mind on how you want to vote for those two items. Bond. We had a great briefing from Eric Walsh, what is it, last meeting or 2 meetings ago, where he kind of outlined everything about this bond. Let me tell you, I am still not happy with it. We're not putting in enough money into our infrastructure, that's streets and drainage. Those two items, even though it looks like a lot of money, was the least amount or the least percentage increase on the entire bond. All those other categories, there's 6 categories, 4 other categories are getting a lot bigger increases. And one of them that's the biggest is the affordable housing, where the city offsets the cost of housing for people. Well, that's going up from $20 million from the last bond to $150 million on this bond. That's one of them that I'm very upset about. I don't support. I think our infrastructure should take first place in this city. We've got a $6.6 billion deficit or bill on our infrastructure, and we're just taking little tiny bites at this thing. This bond, we should have been putting a lot more resources to make a dent into it, and not just taking these little nibble bites at our infrastructure problems. Does anybody need a better street here in District 10? A lot of need for streets. Has anybody seen any flooding around District 10? Yes. Those are the 2 items that we really need to concentrate on, and they're getting the smallest increase, percentage-wise, on this bond. So take a good hard look at it. You make up your own mind what you want to support, but there's 6 items on there. I am all for the infrastructure, but it needs to be bigger. And make up your own mind on how you want to vote for those. City annual budget, we just started on that, and it's really funny. I've been trying to push for a bigger homestead exemption for the last 2 years. Well, guess what? The rest of my colleagues who said no last year are saying, you know, maybe we better do a bigger homestead exemption, because they're getting calls from their constituents out there saying, this is crazy. Why can't you do something better, more from the city standpoint? So I've been pushing this, just like I did the very first time when I came on council back in 2017, to get our first one, but it's the lowest one of any other major city here in Texas. So I'm pushing to raise that exemption. I want to go at least to 5%. I'd love to get 10%. But I need y'all's help. Continue to send stuff to the mayor. He actually said at our budget working session here a couple weeks ago, I'll support a bigger homestead exemption. I almost fell out of my chair. And the other council folks that said, yes, we'll support a homestead exemption. But I tell you what, that would not have happened if they hadn't gotten neighbors opening those bills saying, this is crazy, we need more help. And the city can help more. But I'm also looking at Dr. Micah and the other school districts, the county, the hospital system, San Antonio River Authority, the Alamo Community Colleges, all of those. Look at that list of all those agencies that are on that tax bill, and call them. Go attend their meetings saying, why can't you offer us some homestead relief? And see what they say. You know, it'd be interesting. I've made a commitment to go out and visit those different boards and talk to them about homestead exemptions as to why they can't offer a bigger homestead exemption or any at all. So to me, that's what makes it meaningful. You hear a lot of candidates saying we need meaningful tax help. Well, to me, any kind of homestead exemption or tax rate rollback is meaningful. I don't care how small it is, but it's something moving in the right direction, and to keep the pressure on to keep those prices going down or those tax rates going down. You know, year after year I heard here at the city, well, we've never raised our tax rate. Well, that's because the property values and everything kept going up. They didn't need to raise their tax rate. And still, year after year, if you look at the data, we've been piling in more and more and more money every year. This year, what we're currently in, went to over $3.1 billion. You know, it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with total next year for this coming year. But 20 million of that was from increased property values. And they would not spend $6 million out of that $20 million increase to offer a higher homestead. That, oh man, that just got me. I had a lot of things to say, but calmer times prevail, and I didn't say it. But if we don't get a higher homestead exemption, I'm gonna let it all fly, because this is absolutely ridiculous. And I hope you all see it. All right, I know I'm on a stopwatch here. Councilman Gallagher is getting nervous here. But last thing, we do have an event coming up. It's make sure you come to this. Do we have a slide? We don't have a slide on that. Okay. It's on the 30th of April. The Senior Center, Northeast Senior Center. We're going to be giving away trees. ACS is going to be there helping you with your animals, and actually microchipping for free. So if you want to bring up your animal and get a microchip, they're going to do it for free. In addition, who's got any leftover and stacks of paper from income tax and that kind of thing? Stuff that you don't want to just throw in your trash can. Anybody have that? I got it. I got a stack that high for over 2 years worth. We're going to have a shred truck there also. So they're going to be shredding all your documents for you. Just bring it all there to the Senior Center. So this all starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. So come on, we'll have it all laid out. What?
Trio at 9.
Oh, tree starts at 9. And I think, what are we asking for, 200 trees or something like that? So,
175.
Okay, 175. That's Landry correcting me there. 175 trees of different varieties. So come out there and pick up a tree and adopt. We call it adopting a tree and grow it in your yard. So that's it as far as I'm concerned. Any questions for me?
Just real quick, what is the current tax for the homestead exemption? What's the percentage? You said you wanted to go up to 5%.
Right now, it's at 0.01%. It's basically a flat $5,000 reduction off your appraised value. So I'm wanting to take it up to a 5%. Actually, I want to take it to a 10%. You know what Austin is giving over there? They're giving a 20%. Wow. 20%. And we're just at the 0.01%. It's a crying shame. It's terrible. Yes, sir.
Where do we have with the fire department's contract?
What? When are we going to have a?
Is it done, the fire?
The fire has been done for several years. The police contract is what's under negotiation right now. It hasn't been finalized. It hadn't. I don't think it's been taken to the vote of the members of SAPOA yet, and it has not come to city. Once they approve it, then it'll come to city council for approval. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, one more.
When is the date again you said over at the Northeast Senior?
April 30th. April 30th. Come on over.
Get a tree.
Get a tree. All right. Is that it, sir?
All right, let's give him a hand, everybody.
Also, if you don't know what's in the bond, has everybody gotten one of these documents here? Good. Study it closely, because there's, even in these other bits and pieces, or those other 5 categories, I call them the shiny things, things that people really want, that we don't need, okay? So look at it very closely and let this help you decide what you want to vote for or against. All right, great. Thank y'all.
Okay, just a couple of other dates, of course, that I think we all know by now. Bond election, May 7th, and all of us like to vote early, so that starts April 25th. So let's all turn out. I'm really proud of District 10 because we have one of the highest turnout rates of any of the districts in town. So let's keep that up. And of course, the primary runoff is May 24th, and early for that starts May 16th. So let's make sure and do the same thing for the primary runoff. We want to make our statements. All right, next big meeting we're going to have here in this very room that the District 10 staff will be setting up the chairs for is May 16th. That's the next District 10 meeting, so I expect all of you here, and you better have a good excuse if you don't show up. All right. Very good. And then ours is until June 27th, and I'll be bugging you about that again. Now, did you clearly understand that April 30th, that was one of the things that you get is you can chip your pet? Now, that's not a spouse, just your pet. How about that, all right? Very good. Okay, let's have the door prizes. Yes, go ahead. Jeff's got a comment for us here.
Real quick, guys. Hi, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. Most of you know who I am, Lon Jeff IV. I'm President and CEO with Veterans for America. We're going to have an additional 7 banners. I don't know if you've seen the banners on Thousand Oaks across the street from the library, right? All right, well, that's us. We brought it from California, and we're accepting, we want to put it everywhere across the city. So this Friday, April 22nd, at 11 a.m., you can go to lunch afterwards, only from 11 to 12, and we're going to have the next 7 banners put up from the library side entrance all the way down to Thousand Oaks and Shirts, where the Shell station is at. This particular group has 2 soldiers that we want to recognize as no longer with us. They have passed on. Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Garcia III, he died of cancer. This next one is Air Force Tech Sergeant Gabriel Wozniak. You may hear his name from the news. He was the veteran who fell off the water towers in Bandera at the Warriors Heart Treatment Center. We're honoring him and his family, and he'll be the 7th banner up there, and he'll be on the last banner, the one that's on Thousand Oaks and Shirts, right there at the gas station at the Shell. So again, we're going to be out there this Friday, April 22nd, from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock. We're going to have an honor guard, clergyman, chaplain, state officials, city officials. Hopefully we'll get the news crews. And we want to spread this out to all districts in San Antonio. Right back here is the banners, what it looks like. It's right back there. It's 76 inches tall by 28 inches wide. So please give us a look-see over Friday, and then have a happy lunch after that. Thanks.
Very good. Thank you, Lauren. Well, thank you for all your efforts on that. That's most impressive. I love driving down Thousand Oaks and seeing those banners. That's really wonderful. Okay, let's march up with those winning numbers. Everybody pull out your ticket. Is there anybody in the room that doesn't have a ticket? Okay, we've got to get one down there.
That's got to be the winning one.
All right, here we go. Look at the last 3 numbers. The last 3 numbers. The ticket's red. 108. 108. We have a winner. Well, back here, okay. And Shamika, what is the? Oh, baseball cap. Okay, yeah. Excuse me, basketball cap. Okay, next. Ticket? Very good. Okay. Spurs t-shirt. Number is 105. 105. We have a winner. Come on, 105. Where are you? Last chance.
Going once?
Going once? Twice? Okay, need another ticket.
Yes, sir.
Must be present to win.
The winner is 068. 068. We have a winner in the back of the room. Very good. Next. You didn't know you were going to get this work out. And what is it? What's the prize? Oh, be careful. 064. 064. We have the winner.
Now you got it.
Okay, what's the next prize? Boy, that looks so good on my dashboard. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. The next winner is 100.
It's me.
100. You are closing your eyes. What's the next prize? Oh, a beautiful shirt. Oh, that looks good too. 117. We have a winner. You've already got a white shirt on. Okay, Kendra, what's the next prize? Raise it up.
It's the bobblehead. Okay, one.
No.
Bobblehead.
Okay, a wine it is. Don't whine. 084. 084. Do we have a wine winner? Going once? Twice? Okay, next ticket. For the wine. 080. We have a winner. Okay, Kendra, what's next? Oh, another bobblehead. Oh, boy. Try not to get too excited. 102. Yeah. Oh, the best looking shirt. Yeah. The winner is 092. 092. Nobody? Going once? Going twice? The winner now is 056. 056.
That would be me. What's that, right?
Okay, second to last prize. Wait till you see that last one. It's something else. Okay, we have another beautiful bottle of wine, and it's going to go to 077. 077. Oh! Okay, now this one's really special. This is a gift card
To 54th Street.
to 54th Street. Anybody been there?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. And it's for $30. Yeah. So that ought to give you one glass of wine. All right, here we go. The winner is 058. 058. Who won the gift card? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that finishes our door prizes. Thank you very much for turning out tonight. We'll see you next time. God to say hello.